Hey, Alicia. Ready to unpack the emotional guidance scale? It's pretty fascinating, right? This tool that helps us understand and manage our emotions.
Hey, Jared. Absolutely. I'm always so excited to explore this stuff with you. I think it's a topic with a lot of depth, and I think we can offer some good insights to our listener today, especially since they're so interested in understanding why those negative emotions can feel so sticky and, how to shift toward more positive vibes for manifesting their desires.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is interesting, when you really think about it, we have this built-in guidance system. I mean, our emotions, right?
Right.
But but sometimes it feels a lot more like a roller coaster than a smooth ride.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great way to put it. The Emotional Guidance Scale, or EGS, it really helps us see that roller coaster as a spectrum. It ranges from those low vibration emotions like fear and shame, all the way up to joy, love, and empowerment.
Okay, so picture this, okay? Picture the EGS as like a ladder. And each rung represents a different emotional state, with, the lowest rung being the heaviest, like the densest emotions like shame and guilt. And what's fascinating is that these emotions, they aren't just random. They actually vibrate at different frequencies, much like sound waves.
Exactly. And what's even more interesting, I think, is that neuroscientists are now able to measure these frequencies. Like Dr. David Hawkins, in his book Power versus Force, created a map of consciousness. And he assigned specific frequencies to different emotions, like love has a much higher frequency than fear.
Well, hold on, wait. So you're telling me that my emotions have like a measurable energy output?
They do.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah, it is. And it really starts to make you think differently about the power of our feelings, right?
Right.
I know what you're thinking, though. If everything is energy, why do those lower vibrations seem so much more present? Like they're always there.
Yeah. Like why is it that it often feels like we're just swimming in a sea of negativity?
Well, remember those primal instincts we talked about before, like fight, flight, or freeze?
Right.
Yeah, those are hardwired into us for survival. So it makes sense that the emotions tied to those instincts, those like, fear, anger, anxiety, would be really powerful and easily triggered.
So it's like our caveman brain, it's still freaking out about saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah,
Even if the tiger is just like a pile of bills or a looming deadline.
exactly. But here's the thing. While those lower vibration emotions serve a purpose, they can also keep us stuck in a loop. If we don't learn to consciously shift up that emotional ladder.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready to climb. But how do we actually do that? How do we climb?
Well, that's where the real work begins and the
No.
real magic. Remember those sticky negative emotions that our listener was asking about?
Right.
Well, one of the sources we dug into suggested that these lower vibrations, they're often linked to like fragmented emotional states. So they feel really intense, but they're actually kind of scattered and weak
Hmm.
because they're rooted in resistance.
Oh, so it's like trying to hold water in your hand. Like the harder you squeeze, the more slips through your fingers.
Exactly. And the source contrasted that with higher vibrations, describing them as more integrated, more powerful, because they involve like a blending of multiple positive emotions. Think about it. True joy, it often includes gratitude, love, and a sense of freedom, all intertwined.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So how do we go from feeling scattered and resistant to that beautiful integrated joy?
Well, this is where the emotional ladder becomes like our practical tool. And
Yeah.
and one of the sources actually outlined a visualization exercise that can help us move up the ladder, like in real time. Want to guide our listener through it?
Yeah, I'm always up for a little inner exploration, so let's do it.
All right, all right. Dear listener, if you're willing, find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Let's begin.
Now take a nice deep breath in, filling your lungs with fresh, vibrant energy. And as you exhale, just let go of any tension, any stress, anything that's just weighing you down. Just let your body relax, sink into the support beneath you.
Bring your awareness to your heart center. Just feel the gentle beat of your heart, the rhythm of life flowing through you, and just notice, without judgment, how you are feeling right now. What emotions are present?
Yeah, maybe it's excitement or peace, or maybe it's something a bit heavier, like sadness, worry, or frustration. Whatever it is, simply acknowledge it. This is your starting point on the emotional ladder.
Now imagine that you're standing at the base of a beautiful staircase, and each step represents a slightly higher emotional state. The steps are smooth, inviting, and easy to climb.
And as you gaze upwards, notice a warm golden light illuminating the path ahead. This light represents your inner guidance, your connection to your highest self. It's there to support you, guide you, and help you move toward a lighter, more peaceful state of being.
Gently place your foot on the first step. As you do, take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, imagine releasing any resistance, any doubt, any fear that might be holding you back.
Now, with a sense of ease and grace, begin to ascend the staircase. Step by step, you are moving higher, rising above negativity, limitations, and beliefs that no longer serve you.
As you climb, allow your awareness to shift to a feeling that's just one step higher than where you started. So if you were feeling sadness, maybe you begin to sense like a glimmer of hope. If you were feeling fear, perhaps you feel a flicker of courage.
Yeah, just let yourself be guided by that golden light, trusting that each step takes you closer to your truest self, closer to a state of greater joy, peace, and fulfillment.
And as you continue to climb, just notice how your body feels. Maybe you feel lighter, more energized, more alive. Maybe you feel a sense of expansion or possibility or freedom.
And and if any negative thoughts or feelings arise, simply acknowledge them with kindness, and then gently redirect your focus back to the warmth of the golden light, back to the feeling of ascending, of rising, of expanding.
Now pause for a moment and imagine yourself standing at the top of the staircase. You've made it. You've reached a higher level of awareness, a higher vibrational state.
And from this vantage point, take a look around. What do you see? Maybe a beautiful landscape, a vibrant sunset, or a clear blue sky. Maybe you see loved ones smiling at you, offering their support and encouragement. Whatever it is, let it fill you with a sense of peace, joy, and gratitude.
Feel the warmth of the golden light surrounding you, bathing you in its loving energy. You are safe, you are loved, you are powerful, and you are capable of creating anything you desire.
Now take another deep breath in, anchoring this feeling of peace and joy deep within your being. As you exhale, let go of any remaining tension, any worries, any doubts. You are free, you are whole, you are complete.
Know that you can return to this place of peace and power anytime you choose. Simply close your eyes, take a deep breath, and reconnect with that golden light, the light of your own inner guidance.
Now when you're ready, gently open your eyes, bringing this feeling of peace and joy back into your waking world.
How are you feeling? What shifts have you noticed? Take a moment to really savor this feeling, to integrate it into every cell of your being. Remember, you are a powerful creator, and you have the ability to choose your emotional state, to choose your vibration, to choose your reality.
So choose wisely. Choose love, choose joy, choose peace, and watch as your life begins to reflect the beauty and brilliance of your own being.
Wow, that was powerful. I don't know about you, but I can already feel a shift in my own energy.
Me too. And you know, what's really exciting is that this visualization, this is just the beginning. There are so many practical tools and techniques that we can use to continue climbing that emotional ladder and aligning with our truest desires.
Absolutely. But for now, let's take a moment to integrate this experience. We'll be back soon to explore more about the emotional guidance scale and how we can use it to manifest the lives we truly desire.
Hey, it's Shelley. Just popping in with a quick thought before we continue. One thing I really want to emphasize is that moving up the emotional scale isn't about instantly jumping from fear or sadness straight to joy. That's just not how emotions work. Sometimes progress looks like moving from despair to anger, and that's okay. In fact, anger can be a step toward empowerment. It has more energy, more momentum. So if you or someone you know seems angry, it might actually mean they're moving up from a heavier place, like fear or powerlessness. That perspective can help us have more grace for ourselves and for others. Healing doesn't always look pretty, but it's still progress. All right, let's get back to it and explore how we can keep climbing, one step at a time.
Welcome back. I hope our listener is still feeling that sense of peace and expansion from our visualization. It's really amazing how powerful those intentional shifts can be.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes me even more curious about the science behind all of this. You mentioned Dr. Hawkins and his map of consciousness earlier. Can you tell us more about how these emotional frequencies are actually measured?
Absolutely. So Dr. Hawkins, he used a technique called muscle testing. It's also known as applied kinesiology, to map out the energy levels of different emotional states. So essentially it involves applying pressure to a person's arm while they focus on a particular thought or emotion. And the idea is that a strong muscle response, that indicates a higher energy level, while a weak response suggests a lower energy level.
Interesting. So it's like our bodies are giving us physical feedback about the vibrational quality of our thoughts and emotions.
Exactly. And what Dr. Hawkins found was that these energy levels directly correlate to specific points on his map of consciousness. So, for example, courage calibrates at a much higher level than fear. And this suggests that not only are our emotions measurable, but they also have a direct impact on our overall well-being.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing. It makes you wonder about the long-term effects of consistently dwelling in those lower vibrational states.
Right. And there's a growing body of research that explores this connection between our emotional well-being and our physical health. One study found that people who experience frequent negative emotions, they're more susceptible to chronic illnesses,
Yeah.
like heart disease and even cancer.
Oh, wow. That's a sobering thought. So it's not just about feeling better. It's about being healthier overall.
Absolutely. And and on the flip side, research has shown that positive emotions like joy, gratitude, and love can actually boost our immune systems,
Mm.
improve cardiovascular health, and even enhance our cognitive function.
Okay, I'm officially convinced. Climbing that emotional ladder, it's clearly good for both our minds and our bodies. But I have to admit, sometimes it feels like staying stuck in those lower vibes is just easier.
I hear you. Yeah. It can be tempting to get caught up in the drama of those negative emotions, especially when it feels like everyone around us is doing the same.
Right, so negativity is contagious.
In a way, it is. Our brains are wired to mirror the emotions of those around us. So if we're constantly surrounded by negativity, it's natural to start feeling those vibes ourselves. That's why it's so important to be mindful of the company we keep and the information we consume.
So it's about creating an environment that supports our emotional well-being. Kind of like tending to a garden. I mean, we wouldn't plant our favorite flowers in a patch of weeds, right? We create fertile soil, give them plenty of sunshine, and nurture their growth.
That's a beautiful analogy. And just like with a garden, tending to our emotional well-being, it requires conscious effort. It's about being proactive, not just reactive.
Okay, so how do we do that? What are some practical tools we can use to cultivate those higher vibrations and make climbing that emotional ladder a more consistent habit?
Well, remember those apps and tools that our listener shared?
Right.
Those can be incredibly helpful for building emotional awareness and creating positive shifts.
Oh, yeah, curious to hear more about those.
Yeah, one that caught my eye is called How We Feel. And it's designed to help you track your emotions throughout the day. And it provides personalized tips for shifting to a more positive state. It's like having a mood tracker and a pocket-sized emotional coach all in one.
That sounds pretty amazing. And I remember you mentioned another one called Mood Meter.
Yes, that one is really great for helping you recognize patterns and shifts in your emotional state. It can be really helpful for identifying triggers and developing strategies for navigating those tricky low vibe moments. And for those who like to track their progress and see data, there's Pattern Health. And it's often used in conjunction with courses like The Science of Well-Being, and it helps you identify the activities and habits that influence your emotional state.
Okay, that's fascinating. It's like turning our emotional well-being into a science experiment. But what about those of us who prefer a more old school approach? Any suggestions for non-app users?
Absolutely. One of the sources, it emphasized the power of journaling. Simply taking a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts and feelings can be incredibly insightful and therapeutic.
Oh yeah, journaling is a game changer for me. It's amazing how getting those thoughts and emotions out of my head and onto paper just creates so much clarity. It's like talking to a therapist, but with the added bonus of privacy.
That's true. And sometimes all it takes to shift our perspective is to get those thoughts out of our heads and into a tangible form. But beyond journaling, one of the most consistent recommendations across all the sources was the power of mindfulness and meditation.
I was just about to ask about that. There's so much buzz around mindfulness these days, but how exactly does it connect to the emotional guidance scale?
Well, mindfulness practices, whether it's meditation, deep breathing, or simply being present in the moment, they help us cultivate a greater sense of awareness. And this allows us to observe our emotions without judgment and make more conscious choices about how we respond to them.
So it's like training our minds to be less reactive and more responsive,
Yeah.
like hitting the pause button before we spiral down that emotional rabbit hole.
Exactly. And for those who are new to mindfulness, apps like Headspace or Calm can be incredible guides. They offer guided meditations, soothing soundscapes, and even sleep stories to help you relax and unwind.
Oh, I love those apps. They've been lifesavers for me, especially on those days when my mind just feels like a runaway train.
Me too. And it's not just about the apps themselves, it's about creating a ritual around mindfulness. Even 5 minutes of intentional deep breathing or a short guided meditation can make a world of difference.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the science behind emotional frequencies, the connection between our emotions and our physical well-being, and some practical tools for cultivating higher vibrations. But I think there's one big question that's still lingering in the air. How do we actually manifest those desires once we've aligned with those higher vibes?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? And that's where the emotional guidance scale, it becomes even more powerful. It's not just about managing our emotions, it's about using them as a compass to create the lives we truly desire. But I think that deserves its own dedicated exploration. What do you say we delve into the nitty-gritty of manifestation in our next segment?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I have a feeling our listener is eager to hear how all of this translates into tangible results in the real world. So let's take a quick moment to gather our thoughts, and we'll be back soon to dive into the fascinating world of manifestation.
Just checking in again for a quick reminder. I know it can be frustrating when it feels like you're stuck in a lower vibration, but remember, this is a process. If today you can only move from hopelessness to frustration, that's still movement, and movement is what matters. So be kind to yourself. Give yourself permission to feel what you need to feel without judgment. Each step up the scale, no matter how small, is a step toward feeling lighter, more free, and more aligned with the life you truly want. Let's get back to the conversation and explore some powerful tools to help us make those shifts with intention.
Okay, we're back and ready to tackle kind of the big question. How do we actually use the emotional guidance scale to manifest our desires?
Yeah.
I feel like we've laid a pretty solid foundation, but now I'm ready to see how all of this translates into real-world results.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I really want to emphasize right off the bat is that, manifestation, it isn't some magical formula where you just think happy thoughts and poof, like your dream life appears.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your energy, your thoughts, your emotions and actions with what you want to create.
So it's not about denying the reality of challenges or pretending like everything is perfect. It's about shifting our perspective
Yeah.
and approaching those challenges from a more empowered state.
Exactly. And that's where the emotional guidance scale comes in. It's like a roadmap for navigating those shifts and aligning with the frequency of our desires.
Okay, I'm all ears. Walk us through it.
All right. Well, one of the sources we looked at, it broke down the process of manifestation into a series of steps that beautifully integrate the principles of the EGS.
Perfect. Let's break it down.
Okay. So step 1, it's all about clarity, like getting crystal clear about what you truly desire.
Okay.
Instead of vaguely wishing for more money or a better relationship, we need to get specific.
So if I'm dreaming of a new career, I should be envisioning the ideal role, the company culture, even the commute.
Precisely. The more detailed and vivid your vision, the more powerful the magnetic pull it will have.
Okay, vision board time. What's step 2?
Okay, step 2 is where we check in with ourselves emotionally. So take a look at the EGS and ask yourself, where are you currently sitting in relation to your desire? Are you feeling excited and hopeful? Or maybe a little doubtful and discouraged?
So honesty is key here, like no sugarcoating allowed.
Absolutely. And once we've identified our current emotional state, step 3 is to consciously choose a higher vibration that aligns with our desire.
Okay, I'm seeing how the emotional ladder comes into play here. If I'm feeling anxious about landing that dream job, I might choose to focus on feeling confident and deserving instead.
Exactly. And step 4 is all about reframing our thoughts and emotions to support that higher vibration. So this is where, affirmations, positive self-talk, and even gratitude practices can be incredibly powerful.
Oh, I love a good affirmation. It's like reprogramming our minds to believe in the possibility of our desires.
Yes. And once we've laid that mental and emotional groundwork, step 5 is where the real fun begins. Visualization.
I was hoping you'd say that. I've always been kind of fascinated by the power of visualization. What's the best approach?
Well, the source we looked at suggested regularly visualizing yourself, already in possession of what you want to create. So imagine yourself living that dream life, feeling all the emotions that come with it. Joy, fulfillment, gratitude.
So it's like creating a mental movie where I'm the star,
Yeah.
living my best life.
Exactly. And engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? Smell, taste, touch. Make it as real and vivid as possible and really feel those positive emotions as if it's happening right now.
Okay, I'm ready for my close-up. What's next?
All right, step 6 is all about gratitude, expressing appreciation for all the good that's already flowing into your life, even before your desire fully manifests.
Gratitude is such a powerful practice. It's like saying to the universe, thank you for all that you've given me, and I'm open to receiving even more.
Yes. And it shifts our focus from lack to abundance, which is essential for aligning with the frequency of our desires.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about those moments when doubt creeps in?
Oh.
How do we stay the course, especially when it feels like things are taking forever to manifest?
That's where step 7 comes in, letting go and trusting. And this is often the hardest part, but it's crucial for allowing the universe to work its magic.
It's like that saying, let go and let God. But easier said than done sometimes, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it requires a certain level of surrender and faith in the process. And finally, step 8 is all about consistency and patience. Manifestation is a journey, not a destination. So keep practicing those higher vibrations, keep visualizing your desires, keep expressing gratitude, and trust that everything is unfolding in perfect timing.
I love that. It reminds me that we're always evolving, always growing, always becoming. So even if our desires don't manifest exactly as we envision them, we're still moving in the right direction, right?
Exactly. And the beauty of the emotional guidance scale is that it helps us course correct along the way. If we're not seeing the results we want, we can always check in with our emotions and ask ourselves, what needs to shift? Where am I out of alignment?
This is so insightful. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of how to approach manifestation with intention and awareness. But can you give us like a concrete example
Yeah.
of how all of this might play out in a real life scenario?
Sure. Remember that example we talked about earlier, like manifesting a new job opportunity. So let's say you're currently feeling kind of anxious and doubtful about your prospect.
Oh yeah. I think we've all been there. That
Yeah.
feeling of what if I'm not good enough? Or what if I never find the right fit?
Exactly. So instead of spiraling down that rabbit hole of negativity, you can use the EGS to consciously shift your emotional state. So maybe you choose to focus on feeling hopeful and excited about the possibilities that are out there, and you start affirming to yourself, I am talented and capable, and I am attracting amazing opportunities into my life.
I love that. It's like flipping a switch in your mind from fear to faith.
Yes. And then you might visualize yourself in that dream job, feeling confident, successful, and fulfilled. You picture yourself collaborating with inspiring colleagues, making a meaningful contribution and enjoying a healthy work-life balance.
And don't forget about expressing gratitude for all the skills and experiences that have led you to this point.
Absolutely. Gratitude it's like that extra boost of energy that amplifies the magnetic pull of your desires.
Yeah.
And then you trust. You surrender the how and the when to the universe, knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect timing.
This is so inspiring. I'm starting to see how the emotional guidance scale isn't just about feeling good. It's about harnessing the power of our emotions to create the lives we truly desire.
Beautifully said. It's about recognizing that we are powerful creators and that our emotions, they're the key to unlocking our full potential.
This has been such an empowering conversation. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for navigating the emotional landscape and creating a life that's aligned with my truest self.
Me too. And I hope our listener feels that same sense of empowerment and possibility. Remember, you are not at the mercy of your emotions. You have the power to choose to shift, to create.
So well said. And on that note, dear listeners, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the emotional guidance scale and the magic of manifestation. We hope this exploration has sparked a new sense of awareness
Yeah.
and inspired you to embrace the incredible power within you.
Remember, you are a magnificent being, capable of creating a life filled with joy, purpose, and abundance.
Until next time, keep shining your light.
See you on our next deep dive.
I love the great conversation we just heard from Jared and Alicia. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we covered today. We talked about the emotional guidance scale and how shifting even one step at a time can make a huge difference. We explored why lower emotions feel so sticky, how higher vibrations are more integrated, and most importantly, how we can begin to consciously climb that scale. And if you only take one thing from this conversation, let it be this. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about movement. Any step upward, no matter how small, is a step toward freedom. So here's your action step. Over the next 24 hours, just notice where you are on the emotional scale. No judgment, no pressure to change it, just awareness. And if you feel like shifting, try one of the tools we discussed, even if it's something as simple as deep breathing, journaling, or practicing gratitude. Thank you for spending this time with us today. If this episode resonated with you, please take a moment to share it with a friend, family member, or anyone who might benefit from understanding their emotions in a new way. And if you haven't already, hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss our next conversation about how your emotions shape your reality. Until next time, be kind to yourself, keep moving forward, and remember, you are always more powerful than you think.